What's up, you guys? We're going to do a rapid game. I'm rated 1488. I'm in the 14s right now in both Blitz and Rapid. It's been a shocking few days. And the Nimzowitsch-Larsen attack. What the hell? Okay, so what this means is that we know this bishop's going to fianchetto on b2, almost certainly. So I don't really know. I guess we just occupy the centre. Now the bishop's there attacking the pawn is undefended. I'm going to defend with the knight. So queen's knight comes out to defend, and let's grab the centre. Okay, so now in Spanish style, white is now attacking the knight, but which is pinned also. But the knight is also the only defender of that pawn, so let's defend the pawn again. Now bishop d6 is an option, queen d6 is an option. I quite like queen d6. If takes, I'll still take with the pawn because now it's the queen's defending that pawn. But I think develop the bishop somewhere in long castles makes a lot of sense here. Apologies for the background noise. The kittens are fighting. As you may be able to see in the corner. So, not to make this bishop look bad if I can. Also lining up maybe for a potential e4 push at some point. I mean, e4 is playable now with tempo hitting the knight, right? If knight goes there or there, I can take it with my... No, I can't. My knight is still pinned. Let's break the pin. So he's now got two attackers on here. Now, one of the defenders can be a limit. There we go. Right, so now black can capture the pawn, and I suspect it's going to be with the bishop. I'm going to recapture here with my bishop. We'll give up the pawn. Didn't think that through terribly well. If he doesn't take the pawn, I'm going to push with tempo. Okay, he's taken with the knight. Well, isn't that interesting? Long castles now, I think, maintains a bit of dynamism. I am ahead in development for my pawn, so we're treating this like a gambit. Okay, he's taken the bishop. He's going for the material. Must be a material girl. Canamadria from Reino. Okay, and out comes the bishop one more time. Now the bishop can't take this pawn right now because it gets trapped and then gobbled by the queen. So instinct's telling me to develop. If I go bring out the bishop now, let's bring out the knight, defended by queen. I don't think this is wise. Nobody has a light squared bishop. Opponent still has all his pawns, but is behind in development. Knight e4 is playable. Maybe knight g4, because that looks at this. Queen there, there, and then checkmate in the corner. I think take. Or maybe let him take. Thing is, if I takes, that we've got an open b file, and that's the side my king is on. So I'm inclined, instead of that, to develop my bishop. Now if he takes out my knight, I recapture with a g, but then it's me that's got the open file towards, whereas his king isn't going long, right? Almost certainly not going long. And now Woody's kicked out the kittens, and he's gone back to his normal place to lie down. I'm probably playing this a bit blitzy, to be fair. Now if queen takes, I'm looking at g2, like that. If knight takes, it's improving the knight. But this pawn hangs. So we'll take with the queen. If you can avoid smashing the place up, that would be great. Thank you very much. Okay. Now he's dropped a pawn, hasn't he? And that's going to force the rook here. And then also this pawn will hang. Could even think about bringing my knight in. I think that was a poor move. That was taken in 3.5 seconds. Just didn't scan the whole board. So he's playing a bit blitzy too. This is a 15 plus 10. We are neck deep into the middle game, and both players have 14 minutes on the clock. And that is not good. The rook's going to come here, so I mean checkmating on here isn't really feasible. But we get my knight to there, that'd be quite nice. Or knight to here. Okay, and I think also rook h to e8 looks like a very natural move. I think grabbing this pawn right now would just be a deviation. Rook there. I'm not up in material, but I'm very much up in king safety. Okay, so now both rooks have moved, so that king ain't castling anywhere. He's lined up his rook with my king. Maybe he's got ideas of coming after my bishop. I don't know. Knight up looks nice. Queen actually defends this pawn from the bishop. He might trade off, but this isn't about material. This is about initiative. This is about the attack that's coming. So we need a plan. Actually, the queen doesn't defend that because the queen's also the only defender of the knight. But I might just push f6. Oh, actually I can recapture here with the rook so the queen can defend. Queen is not the only defender of the knight, correction. So if takes, I can take. So neither move is really on. Okay, what I notice now is that there's a discovery on with my queen. Now he does have checks. He's got this check here, but then I can take the pawn. He takes, my king's pinned. Or I come in here, attack his queen. If rook takes, I win the knight. And this bishop can't move with a check because my king's on a light square, so does that work? I attack his queen, he comes in here with check. Yeah. If I take this pawn, that's also a discovery by the rook. I'm not really scared of this at all. That part of me is thinking about c6 and putting the question to that knight. Alright. Or, I mean, that's a move, but then knight can take it. Here it does, you know, weaken my dark square around the king, or I could just be cheeky and just sidestep the whole issue. Don't think this works, because then he maybe goes here with check. Then I take his knight, then he simply takes my knight. So I think c6 works, but king b8 may just be the simplest solution. So let's go with that. Just getting out of the line of the rook, so there's no pin issues now. Alright, queen here. Now the knight can't move with check, you see, because the king and knight are on opposite colours. So I do have this. Even if king or rook takes, then I take the knight, which I kind of like. Then this pawn will hang. So let's, what about just kicking the knight away? Can't come here, here, there he gets taken, there he gets taken, there he gets taken, so that's not on. There, I can take as well with the bishop. And that opens up, ooh, he doesn't want to go there. You don't want to go there, son. You don't want to go there, because then I take, hang on, you go there, I take, if pawn takes, rook moves, and the queen is gone. Let's look at the times on the taken per move. This is very common. More common at the beginner level, where people tend to play their opening moves very quickly. I mean, having said that, he got an advantage in the opening, I gave it away. And then really have to sit and think in the middle game, which is, you know, that's where the real heavy lifting is done, I suppose. But if this knight moves as well, I've still got ideas of this. With fork and king and rook. So this is not a happy place for white. I mean, if he goes there, I think that's really his only safe place, isn't it? I'll probably just take. He can be captured with bishop or rook. Does trading off help me right now? Well, opening up the e-file helps me, so getting rid of this knight somewhere makes general sense. Right, now. Okay. Right, we really have to put the pressure on now. I do feel like it might be a good time to do that, but at the same time I know it's slow. Bishop here hits the rook. Does that achieve much? Also opens up the other central file. I'm going to push that just to take away this square from the bishop, and no point giving away material for no reason. And my opponent really doesn't have much play here at all. 6 pawns to 6 pawns, but his are in 3 islands, and this one's still hanging, this guy on h2. So I could just grab that with my bishop at any point, or with my queen. That comes with tempo. He has to go there or there. And he can't go there because my bishop takes. So if I do this, he's going to have to come back here. And that blocks off his rook. I'm okay with that. So he hasn't got time to capture here. Bishop's going to come back here, blocking the rook. And then, you know, what was the whole point, really? I've got this idea as well, because this pawn's actually pinned. Well and truly pinned. Do I just grab the pawn now? Yeah, I can't see any threat from the rook. So we're a pawn up. This pawn is pinned. If I do this, I mean, what's he going to do? He can't push his pawn because rook takes. That's a winning attack. And that's a bit slow, trying to put them on the light squares. If I just push, again, he can't capture because the queen defends, so maybe f5. Maybe I just, you know, that was a bit of a one of those too slow moves. But I think the f-pawn break makes a lot of sense. This is the key pawn, this is the key file. It's f all the way. Table number 7 for Mr. Fast Freddy. Know who you got stake coursing for you? This is Fast 81st. And who are you, the end of the world? Colour of Money. 1989, 88, maybe 87. Good film. Follow up to The Hustler with Paul Newman. Oh, he resigned. Wow, look at that. And we are up to 1497. Check it out. That was a good attack in the end. I mean, I do feel like my attacking, is quite strong at the minute, but my defending, in fact, my kind of game awareness is a bit weaker. Look at that. I mean, 53. Phew, not pretty. And I had a missed win. Ah. Knight to g4 here. Knight to g4. Why is that better then? Two attackers on the rook. I see. Wow, yeah. There we go. So there's still room for improvement on the attacking side as well. A couple of blunders. Centralising my rook was a blunder. I should have played knight g4. Okay. But it's just so principled, putting a major piece in line with your opponent's king. But I missed a sharper attacking opportunity. He blunders, and then that's my missed win. Okay. Okay, good to know. So let's just figure it out then. If knight to here, I'm simply threatening, well, I'm threatening knight takes, aren't I? Am I? Not really. Okay, so let's say queen e2, which is what the computer suggests. Bishop takes looks sensible. So no, of course, knight takes h2 is the whole idea, right? Knight takes h2. So the queen has to defend that. And now he's saying f4 is best. f4? Really? But yeah, I think bringing the knight in to such close quarters was great. Also, this is a threat, isn't it? So if he does something quiet, is knight f3. Yeah, knight f3 check is pretty horrible. Now the king has to move, king d1, yeah. And then knight takes d4, taking advantage of this pin. Excellent. Yeah, I really didn't use my knight in the most effective way there. So I should have looked for an even better move at that point, but there you go. There's always a lesson. And got some points back now, just a shade under 1500. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.